Story 1. As a cashier, the things you buy do not matter. Condoms? No need to be ashamed. Men buying menstrual products? I do not care. Story 2. Social media content creators. I truly do not understand how this is a thing. Story 3. Career. Work is just something that gets in the way of who I want to be. Story 4. Having all the best new things. Technology is nice, but I don't care that my iPhone isn't the latest model. Story 5. You know that slot for single slicing on your kitchen cheese grater? I have never used it and do not care to do so. Story 6. The false information that people believe on social media, such as the nonsense people share from popular platforms, is concerning. The addiction to social media and all the superficial content associated with it turns people into individuals constantly seeking attention, which can be more harmful than other addictions. Story 7. How much alcohol you can drink. I am not impressed if you tell me you can drink an entire bottle of vodka and still be standing, or how high your tolerance is in general. Trying to one-up me by saying things like, 3 coolers? That's cute. I once drank an entire bottle of tequila and I was still standing, and everyone was so impressed that I kept doing more shots. It costs you way more money to get to the same level of intoxication as me. What a strange thing to brag about. Story 8. The royal family. Who is wearing what on the red carpet? Reality television. Story 9. Most things. We like to pretend our capacity for caring involves everyone and everything, but it does not. You can only care about a few things genuinely. Story 10. How other people dress. I absolutely do not care when people make fun of others because of how they look or dress. When I was really young, I did care, but now it is clear that does not matter. Story 11. Politics. I care enough to go out and vote in any election I am aware of that is happening. However, it is not part of my personality. I will never stop talking to someone because of their political views. If someone asks, I will tell them. The way they react says more about their character than anything else. We have become so divided as a nation because of politics that it is disturbing. We are all trying to survive and we all believe in different things. Grow up and accept others for what they value. Also, any celebrity who became famous for no reason at all. Looking at you, Kardashians. Story 12. Movies, movie trivia, the film industry, and celebrity culture. Story 13. Less and less. But I have never regretted my decision not to have children. Story 14. People's opinions on pineapple pizza vary. It's just pizza. Let me live my life. Story 15. That is kind-hearted ribbing. And I do not mean that. The real answer, though, would be influencers. As soon as someone is introduced as a social media star, I automatically tune out. Story 16. Big brands. I would rather pay for good quality at a fair price than support a name associated with controversy or modern slavery. Story 17. I do not care what people do with their lives as long as they are not hurting others. Story 18. Pronouns. Who uses which bathroom? Just do not defecate on the floor or all over the toilet and keep private parts private. Story 19. Your tattoo means nothing to me. I am glad you and your tattoo artist like it, but I do not care about it at all. Story 20. Baby showers and gender reveal parties? Who cares? I wish people cared less. Maybe the parties wouldn't become life and nature-threatening disasters. Story 21. Abortion. Not my body, not my business. Too much information from everyone else. Story 22. Every little thing that Donald Trump says is just minor details at this point. Story 23. Negative opinion over something subjective. Everything is great when there is no one telling you it is bad. I want to find out for myself. Please be quiet. Story 24. Everything except cats and retiring at a reasonable age. Story 25. I am about to start a conflict, but I do not care how other people want their steak cooked. Story 26. When close friends, family members, or acquaintances start gossiping in a social setting, I understand that everyone gossips occasionally and to some extent. However, when my friends and family and I get together for dinner or another activity and someone starts gossiping about a person who is not present, I completely tune out. Story 27. Where should we go to eat? I will find something wherever we end up. Please stop asking me. Story 28. Your designer clothes, shoes, or handbag. If you have them, that is fine. If you do not have them, that is also fine. Story 29. I do not care about dating or being in a relationship ever again. Most of my life, I have been overweight. I have been dismissed, harassed, laughed at, and ignored by men. I have had enough. I am 60 years old now. My last date was about 15 years ago. I am living a life without them, and that is fine with me. I have less heartache and disappointment. My cats are much kinder to me than men. Story 30. Cars. If I have something that gets me from point A to point B, I do not care what kind of car it is or how nice it is. Story 31. Weirdly, at this point in my life, I do not really care about anything. Story 32. Sports and celebrities, social media nonsense like influencers, and competition. My lack of a competitive streak always irritated my father, brother, and friends. I truly do not care about winning and losing if there is no tangible and awesome prize. Medals, trophies, and ribbons are not prizes. Story 33. My brother. My family gets very bothered when I say this, but he is not a good person. We both still live at home, and I just cannot stand him. Story 34. Most reality television, especially the talent competitions. However, I do like Alone. Story 35. Politics, sexual orientation, food preferences, and clothing choices. Story 36. Sports, or really anything that involves competition. You could not find someone who cares less about sports, teams, and so on than me. Story 37. Sports, yeah, I'm a man, but my life is crumbling apart and my mind is on 57 other things. I don't care if Joe Burrow ran in a touchdown. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. Story 38. Sports and competitions. I absolutely could not care less if someone is better than someone else at anything. I go to sporting events with my family only because I enjoy spending time with them, so I will cheer on the home team. If they lose, oh well. Story 39. At the moment, pretty much nothing. I assume it is the depression at work. I try to fake it, but honestly, I am just burnt out all the time. Everything is boring or uninteresting. Story 40. About other people's opinions. If you don't like the same car brand I like, oh well. If you don't like a certain food, cool. But if you cry because I don't like something, it makes me dislike it even more. Story 41. Superhero and comic book movies. Like, come on. Please stop talking to me about them. I will not watch these movies you have been talking to me about for the last 15 minutes. Story 42. Looking presentable in case I see someone I know. I put on a full face of makeup occasionally because I feel like it, but some days I apply Nivea Soft and call it a day. It's not for others. It's for me. Mom. I'm a valuable human being even without earrings and eyebrow pencil. The endless hand-wringing around thank you notes, especially from older people. I buy a friend a present because I think they would like it and they are special to me. I don't require a thank you. I thanked all 40 of my wedding guests, all family members, in person. Why should I waste paper to make baby boomers happy? Story 43. How beautiful the car is. I just need it to get me through the pursuit. Story 44. Reality television is drama I do not need in my life. I have never watched Jersey Shore, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, The Bachelor, Selling Sunset, or any of the others. Story 45. How long I soak in the bath. I do care how long I am in the shower, though. Story 46. What other people think about me and how they feel when I say no to them is their problem, not mine. Story 47. TikTok. Not in an I'm so cool, I'm pretending to be above it all way. I don't understand the dancing that a 5-year-old could do. I don't get those videos where people just point at words above them. My friends sometimes send me funny videos, and I see some on Facebook, like the old person that I am, 42. So I'm not completely out of the loop. Story 48. The personal life of celebrities, or anything about them outside of their performance in entertainment or any other context I am viewing them in. Edit. The top reply in this thread mentions social media influencers. That is essentially the same for me. Story 49. Celebrities, Kardashians, and similar personalities. I could not care less about them. Story 50. Nails. Anything about nail art, manicures, nail care, gel or acrylic does not interest me. Story 51. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that request. Story 52. I do not care about Star Wars, anything with swords, elves, hobbits, wizards, superheroes, or anime. I said what I said. Story 53. What people do with their lives does not affect me and my family. Story 54. Celebrities. I do not care about these random people I do not know. I have my own life. Story 55. Folding and organizing clothes. Are they clean? Great. My work is done. Story 56. Catty gossip, drama, TikTok, social media in general, how much money someone has, celebrities, whether jewelry is real diamonds or not, getting married, having children. Story 57. The orange wannabe dictator, golf, Tesla pickups, and cake donuts. Story 58. Taylor Swift and whoever she is or is not dating or friends with. I was stuck. My work van only gets one station, listening to two radio disc jockeys talk about her and Sophie Turner for 5 minutes when I could have been listening to 1990s rock. Story 59. Taking loads of photos purely for social media. I take photos for myself, not so I can post them all online to make my life appear better. For example, whenever my sister and I go out, she always orders a cocktail and takes photos of it to post online even though she hates cocktails. I just don't understand the point. One time we were having a fun camping weekend, just us, with no phones being used. As the night ended, I got into bed exhausted, and she burst into my room to say we needed to do the sparklers and photos. I reluctantly got up, and we stood in silence while she took boomerang photos of the sparklers against the camping backdrop, which she posted on social media. It just felt so fake and forced. Story 60. The attempted assassinations of Trump. Let me know if someone actually gets him. Story 61. Celebrities. I do not care about their lives. The same applies to influencers. Story 62. Big brand clothing. It perplexes me that a polo shirt with a small logo can cost more than 10 times as much as a plain one. Story 63. Any superhero, Marvel Universe, or similar movie or series, apart from The Boys, which was surprisingly good. Or anything like Game of Thrones. Story 64. Sports that other people are doing. Yes, I like to go swimming myself or go hiking, but I do not want to watch any random strangers on television swimming, even if they are very good at it. Watching is boring. Story 65. Becoming very rich or successful. As long as I have a stable life and can provide for my family, it does not matter. Story 66. I care about this question enough to comment, but I do not care enough about the topic to mention it. Story 67. 1. What people think of me. If they thought I was dishonest or cruel to animals or children, that would bother me. But if they think I'm odd, eccentric, or annoying, I do not care. 2. Increasingly, I don't care about the United States and international news or events unless it's really interesting. I never worry about how it will affect me. It's more like, wow, a massive agricultural failure in Botswana. Fascinating. 3. My clothing and fashion. I'm 52. I have money. I have no problem wearing a pair of cargo pants and an old hoodie or flannel shirt. 4. Small talk. Do you think I care to hear a 9-minute story about how you went to return a fleece blanket to Target, waited in line, and when you finally got to the customer service desk, they said, "Yon, give me an interesting conversation about how your cousin had a new type of brain surgery, not returning an $11 blanket to Target." Story 68. When I buy gasoline, I do not care if the price is an even number. It can be $10.02 for all I care. Story 69. The price of toilet paper. I picked a major brand 15 years ago and I just buy it. I am not about to count pennies for something I am going to wipe. Story 70. Makeup and eyelashes. The amount of money spent to look like a clown amazes me. Story 71. Abortion. Homosexuality. Religion. I do not care about any of it. Just leave me alone. Story 72. If someone identifies as queer, It is strange and irritating that many people make it their entire focus to care about that to the point of turning it into a political issue. What happened to minding our own business? Story 73. Leaving a legacy after I die. What do I care? I'll be dead. Story 74. Mainstream media has lost my respect. Every time I see a clip from them, it is clear they have no interest in regaining it. Story 75. Anyone still voting for Donald Trump does not care about the truth. They cannot be trusted, especially in a professional environment. Story 76. Pronouns. I cannot say I know anyone who insists on being addressed by their preferred pronouns. Specifically, they slash them. Story 77. Middle Eastern politics. Whichever side you choose, you are judged harshly, so I completely tune out. Call me when religion disappears. Story 78. YouTube videos using race to get clicks. Black man goes to China. White man goes to the neighborhood. Story 79. I do not care about celebrities unless I find them attractive. Beyond that, I am not going to be fan crazy about them. Some of the most impactful people, such as educators and doctors, barely receive the same amount of respect and earnings as these celebrities. We have really got things twisted in this world. Story 80. I have a particular negative bias toward blondes, and I don't know why. I would be miserable in Sweden. Story 81. If I accidentally say something not politically correct, I am not going to be broken up about it. Frankly, I would rather people not pretend to care about me or my feelings. Do not pretend to care like someone who cares more about looking good than actually being good. Story 82. War and politics do not concern me. I do not care about what is happening in the Middle East, and people act like I am evil for thinking that. Story 83. Your political view does not matter to me. Just do not be narcissistic, pedophilic, homophobic, sexist, misogynistic, or believe you are above everyone else at all times. Just do not be a terrible person. Story 84. Politics and celebrities have never altered my life in any notable way. My bills are paid, I still go to the gym every day, I still ride motorcycles, and I still spend time with friends. Nothing a politician or celebrity does will change that, so why should I care what they are doing? Story 85. Anything related to the British royal family. I am in Canada, and they are featured prominently in magazines here. There is a special highway called the Queen's Highway that charges a toll for the privilege of traveling on it. Story 86. I've never given it this much thought. I guess I have to go with how much cheese you prefer on your pasta at Olive Garden. There are other things, but that's up there. Story 87. What my coworkers do is not my concern. I do not care if they are lazy, do a poor job, make mistakes, arrive late, misuse company time, work extra hours, or what they eat and wear. It is not my business, and I am not their supervisor. Story 88. Shelley, from where you work, has her brand new SUV. Story 89. Music charts. I just want good music. I do not care if it is in the top 100 or not. Story 90. The opinions of strangers or those who do not have my best interests at heart. Story 91. Social media. Gossip, other people's life choices, celebrities and influencers. Story 92. Sexuality and sex. I don't really understand the obsession or the hype around it. Story 93. Honestly, what do people care about me? If I do something embarrassing in public or in front of people, I just ignore it because odds are they have seen it before or seen something worse, and they will forget about me by the end of the day. Life is too short to get bogged down by analyzing our every action and whether or not people will like us. I do feel bad for people with social anxiety. That is a difficult thing to struggle with, so if I am with someone who has social anxiety, I will adjust my words and actions so that they are comfortable. Story 94. As a woman, I do not care if you can see my panty lines or not. Story 95. Anything. Like cannot afford it. Cannot afford to even care. Story 96. Television. Binge watching. Reality television. None of it but the occasional baseball game. Story 97. This decade, alphabet attachment to someone's identity. Cannot concentrate, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, do not like certain types of authority, odd, have a different sexual preference. Take your pick on the alphabet. Story 98. Social media trends such as why would you choose a bear when it would just maul you to death? Story 99. Interior design trends. I can't even imagine installing a sink, wallpapers, or floors of a special shape or color just because it is trendy. It is my house and I want it to look the way I want, not how someone else says. Story 100. I do not care about other people's religious epiphanies or praises, or the performative sky pointing and field praying by athletes. Does God care about your touchdown or home run, right? Story 101. Sports people, models, fashion and beauty contestants, social media personalities. Story 102. TikTok. I refuse. I hate everything about it, but the worst is that female text-to-speech voice. It haunts my dreams. Story 103. What anyone else thinks of me does not really matter. Be a good person and the right ones will stay. Story 104. What is in fashion? If I like it, I am wearing it. I do not care if you think it looks dumb. Story 105. I will tell you to have a great day with a smile on my face, be polite, or engage in casual conversation. In reality, I really do not care if you have a nice day at all. Story 106. Any celebrity. That includes whatever some rappers are doing, or Keanu, or whoever is popular on Reddit these days, or Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz, and so on. Story 107. Some days I don't care about anything because I know that everyone you or I have ever known will all be dead and buried in about 50 to 100 years. Not in a bad way, but I realize that life is short and time goes by faster and faster. I'm sure that before I realize it, I'll be fading out of existence completely, never to return again. It is sort of liberating if you can handle the existential crisis and nothingness these thoughts sometimes cause. I long for the days when I had no concept of my inevitable death. In that way, I don't really care about anything, just me, myself, and I selfishly learning as much as I can about reality and the point of it all. Story 108. How my clothes look on me. I am not here to be everyone else's eye candy or to please or impress anyone. I am covered up because it is the law and because 2/3 of the year it is below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Story 109. Celebrities and their foolish reality shows are controlled puppets. Story 110. Celebrities, influencers, every sport except American football. Story 111. Celebrities of any kind exist solely for my mindless entertainment. Story 112. The types of plastic surgeries people get have no effect on my life. Story 113. Video games, Marvel movies, pineapple on pizza, silly topics for teenagers. Story 114. Social media conflict. Just block them. You both look foolish. Story 115. Sports mean nothing. None of it matters, and the people involved are terrible. Story 116. The newest trends. I guess I just live 2 years behind everyone. Story 117. Sports. I only care if my child is in the game. Other than that, I can do without them, especially football. Story 118. I cannot think of anything because if I did not care about it, then I would not be able to think of it. Story 119. Sports and musicians. I cannot tell the difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, or Rihanna and Adele. If sports teams and music disappeared from this planet, my life would not change at all. Story 120. The star system, what celebrities do or do not, I could not care less. Story 121. Other people's fashion. My friends sometimes ask me what clothes they should buy. My response is usually something like, I don't know. You'll be the one wearing it, so you decide. Story 122. People who do not really want solutions to their problems. I am happy to help solve problems, but I have no patience for people who just want to complain and make excuses. Story 123. Gossip. I truly cannot understand what is so interesting about other people's business that does not concern me. I really do not care about someone's friend's uncle's girlfriend's scandal. It is genuinely boring to me, and I get so irritated at work when people will not stop talking to me about things that are none of my business. Story 124. Sports of any kind are just boring in my opinion. TikTok and sports cars also do not appeal to me. Story 125. What people do in their bedrooms, who people love, what someone has in their pants. Story 126. For the last 4 years, my husband has been obsessed and watches streams and videos for about 1 to 2 hours daily. I find the videos to be banal. I am a huge fan of Japanese culture. I just don't enjoy watching girls squeal on stream while playing games. Story 127. How uncomfortable people become when I do not do what they want. Story 128. Generally speaking, I do not care about what most people think of me, especially strangers and even less internet strangers. I come from a family with very thick skin and no concerns to give. If you are a friend or family, you will receive some consideration regarding your opinion, but still not a whole lot. Story 129. Celebrities and social media influencers. Story 130. The other side of the world, I am sorry, but there are issues, people, and life in general that I need to take care of in my immediate vicinity before I can spare a thought about any war happening anywhere. Yes, bad people are doing bad things and should be stopped. But can we stop the bad people here first, or just let them keep running for president? It makes me sound unempathetic, but I am overworked and the cost of living is not going down. I do not see why we are spending money to sponsor exploding radios. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.